can lie to you, it's not a problem. But when you consistently lie to yourself, then you are in trouble. Going abroad in the 80s, 70s, 60s is quite different from the concept of going abroad post-COVID. Most people will not get this indefinite leave to remain. How many people has gotten this indefinite leave to remain and they are free? That exactly is what they are trying to extend for you. Like Kevin Badenoch said, over 2 million people are going to escape that trap. And obviously, they are not happy with that. For most people that come to the UK post-COVID, you would go back to your country. In 2024 statistics, 10,800 millionaires left the UK. In 2025, every 45 minutes, a millionaire is running away from the UK and they have British passport. You see people say, oh, once I get my indefinite leave to remain, once I get my British passport, then I can do any job. Which job? Must begin to build your capacity economically, begin to build your connect such that even if you need to leave, maybe for another country or for home country, you will then have more relevance, more capital, more connect to do something significant for yourself that you cannot do before you left your home country. That fear is what the British politicians bank on when they make those comfortable policies. They know that you are afraid of going back. For instance, the UK changed their law to say before anybody can get indefinite leave to remain, you must do 15 years. Do you have a choice? This is a very tricky topic, especially for my people, Nigerians, because when most Nigerians, run away from Nigeria, especially to the UK, it's for the purpose of running away and never going back to Nigeria. In fact, we hear some say things like, oh, I can never go back to that country again. That country is this, that country is that. So anything that threatens or gives a negative opinion about their permanent stay in the UK, their indefinitely leave to remain, would touch some emotions, would touch some anger, in them. But this is a subject that we need to discuss so that we can make informed decision. Now, I'm not saying that the indefinite leave to remain doesn't make sense. It does make sense. You are in the UK permanently. In fact, it gives you right to some jobs. You are there. You are not looking over your shoulder. Now you know that you can go in and come in. Now you know that you are not even restricted, to one work. You can do any job that you want, and you qualify for. And you'll be able to get those jobs, and then you can then be in the UK permanently. But what does that truly really means in the sense of that? Because you see, people can lie to you. It's not a problem. But when you consistently lie to yourself, then you are in trouble. The way the European countries especially craft the concept of immigration is not because they love the immigrant. It is to milk the immigrant. And you can see the careful calibration, the calculation, the document written, where you can work, what you can work in, what is allowed of you, what is not allowed of you. And they do it in such a way that the most active and important part of your years would be lost in that system. Yes, you probably at the end of the day will get the passport so that you can wave it and show the people that you are now free. But the best part of your life is truly gone. Now, you see, the concept of going abroad in the 80s, 70s, 60s is quite different from the concept of going abroad post-COVID. Why is that? Is because of the economic stability of these countries that we go into. Because even these countries are now in some form of trouble. Recently, I believe the Dutch had some problem in their leadership because of immigration. If you look at the United Kingdom, the politics of the UK has been based solely on immigration. Not because these politicians want to say it. It's because this is what the people, wants to hear. The people think that the immigrants are the problem. So much that these politicians say things that will hurt the people. But the people don't care. They just want the immigrants gone because they believe that the immigrants are the problem. I'll give you an instance. The UK Reform Party has an agenda to try to make the UK healthcare system look like that of America. At least their leader has said that much. Where you need a private, insurance for you to get healthcare. Most of the people following Reform UK cannot afford that private healthcare. They don't even know that that is what reform stands for. But because reform puts the dislike for the people they dislike in front and put everything behind, they support Reform UK because, oh, you hate immigrants, then we support you. That is what Reform UK is doing for them. It's just the Brexit template all over again. In fact, for Brexit, most British don't even know what it means until they leave Europe. And the ripple effect of that decision begins to come back to them. So politicians know that this is what the people want to hear. They want to hear the immigrants should go away. People that doesn't look like them should go away. So they would put that in front and then hide their true agenda behind that, message. Now, and why do the locals think that immigrant is the problem? Because the resources are getting smaller and not available. Now, if you follow the UK politics, they are trying to vote more money now into defense because of the war happening in Ukraine and Russia. Now, if you follow that and money, you would know that there's not enough money on ground. The cost of living is high and is biting hard. And the government know that the easiest people to blame are these immigrants that the people dislike. So they put that in front and lays the message behind it. Now, beyond that, go into Germany, go into America, even Canada. The concept of anti-immigration has been top on the shelf agenda for politicians because it's now the message that sells. So, if you live in the UK where this conversation seems to be the most troubled, you want to be careful that you don't play the game of the system. Hence why this panic for indefinite leave to remain cannot be your sole life purpose because it is a mirage. It is something that they dangle in front of you that will make you lose your true purpose in life. And if you are not careful, you will play the system so much that the most active part of your years will be lost. And the only thing you will have to show for it is just some papers that they will give you at the end of the day. So you need to look at the system so that we understand it, which is what we want to discuss today. So please, if this is your first time on this channel or you are a returning viewer, please do subscribe. Click the subscribe button. Click the notification so that you can get the messages or the videos when we drop them. Here we do awesome entertainment family content, and of course we try to discuss things that affect families just like this one. So thank you. Now, see, indefinite leave to remain in the UK should not and cannot be the purpose of your life. And which is why I try to explain that I understand that it's beautiful, it gets you to work, it gets you to do this, but there is a whole lot about your life than getting this foreign passport. You see, if you were to be in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, pre-COVID, it didn't make sense. That you go to these countries, exchange some of your years, and you get their passport. You don't want to make the mistake now because, okay, yes, they give you the indefinitely to enter and get out of the UK. To enter and get out, to do what exactly? To enter and get out, to get what exactly? And like I said in the beginning, especially for Nigerians, I know that for them, they're like, where we are now is better than where we are coming from. It's a mirage. See, I understand now that we are in the UK. You are able to do work, you're able to get money, especially when you don't change the money to your local currency. It is huge. It is big. But if you sit down and look at it, what exactly is the true cost? Because you see, this also for indefinite leave to remain is making us do jobs that are killing us, jobs that are separating us away from our family, jobs that are ensuring that we are not even available for our children in the name of this indefinite leave to remain, in the pursuit of this end goal of, oh, now I have indefinite leave to remain, then I can apply for British passport. And as you would know with recent politics, most people will not get this indefinite leave to remain because, as typical of the United Kingdom, They are putting a lot of things in place to ensure that they don't release more people from that shackle of indefinitely leave to remain pursuit. So what you find is that people will begin to apply, they will not make the cutoff. People will begin to get extensions, and they will make money from these things because it's a very expensive part. An average family, say a family of three in the UK trying to go for indefinite leave to remain, is planning more than £10,000 from their purse at minimum. That is not even part of the money that you pay for your way people study, you pay for your IHS and all of that. It's not part of that. I'm talking that goal at the end of the day. You are coughing out a lot of money at the end of that day. Now, some of this money, you will do well to even use them to do business if you are not in pursuit of this document. Yes, on paper, you are free on paper. You have indefinite leave to remain. You are this person that can enter the United Kingdom and come out. Now, what you want to check in your life is what exactly is the quality of this indefinite leave to remain? What is the quality of it? Because have you not seen people with even British passport and they can't even afford to pay their bills? Have you not seen people with British passport and they are living in parks? So it is to tell you that at the end of the day, it doesn't change much. And the question that we are not asking is, what exactly are we even paying on our way to this indefinitely leave to remain? This indefinitely leave to remain, what are we paying on our way to that goal? Because if you look at it, it is stressful, which is why I said if you look at the people that came to the UK pre-COVID and post-COVID, their realities are different. So when you are making your decision, if you are not careful to be smart to look at it and say, this is post-COVID, the economy of the UK is different, then you would then begin to make informed decision. Because you see, there are people with British citizens that are running away from England themselves. They are running away from the United Kingdom. In fact, in 2024 statistics, 10,800 millionaires left the UK or ran away from the UK. In 2025, every 45 minutes, a millionaire is running away from the UK and they have British passport. Now, if these people are running away from the UK to go into Dubai, to go into Saudi Arabia, to go into more calmer climes with better economic prospects, you must begin to ask yourself questions that, what do I want to take out of the UK? Is it some form of paper or economic power? I have shared this over and over again, that I believe that if you are in the UK post-COVID, your goal is to come and learn, to improve your capacity, to improve your experience, to perhaps get capital and move out. See, get your indefinite leave to remain, if you may, get your British passport, because it makes sense. You are free to travel the world. But the question is that the purpose of your life? And if you are not sitting down to check it very carefully, that would become the purpose of your life and you will not even know it. You will not even know it that that's what you are gaining to do. And then say, once I get it, I will be free. The question is, how many people has gotten this indefinite leave to remain, this British passport, and they are free? Like, how many people have actually truly, immigrants that got this indefinitely leave to remain, this British passport, and now they are now financially free. They are somewhat free. And like a friend said, that most people are trying to get this British passport, indefinitely leave to remain, just so that they can get, some benefits. Let's not even talk about that because it doesn't even make any sense. Because even for their own citizens, people that don't have your skin color, the benefits are drying up, except you are not paying attention. The benefits are drying up. So if that is why you want to get it, then you will be doing yourself a lot harm. Now, I started this conversation by saying that I understand where Africans are coming from, especially Nigerians. And you see, I'm careful with this conversation because I know, like I said, that these things that will not make Nigeria get passport of another country is emotional, and they probably will not want to listen carefully. And I really hope that people will do listen, to comprehend, to understand. Now, I'm not saying that indefinitely leave to remain doesn't make sense or it's not good. I'm just saying that please make sure that that is not the purpose of your life. That cannot be what you are gunning for. Because you see, that fear is why the British politicians will wake up and say they want you to serve for 10 years before they can give you that. Now, someone that comes into the UK when you are 30, 35, 36, add 10 years to your life, that is 50, going to 50. What exactly is remaining in your productive life that you would be able to use for yourself? Yes, you will waive your passport, that you eventually got the passport, if you ever get that. But how many obstacles have been placed in front of you that you have to jump before you eventually get that? You see, we must begin to count the cost. How does this pursuit for indefinite leave to remain, how does it affect your children? Because the kind of jobs that we do does affect our family. We've seen people that are graduates, even in computer science, even in tech roles. But because the way the system is carefully structured, they cannot get what they study, even though they've come to the UK to study that. Now they have to go and do COS to get care work. And when you ask the why, the only reason is, oh, so I can quickly get my indefinite leave to remain. And as you would see, that exactly is what they are trying to extend for you. Because, like Kevin Badenoch said, over 2 million people are going to escape that trap. And obviously, they are not happy with that. They still want you in that corner so that you do the job that they purposely scripted you to come and do in the UK. So, if you would leave that, you would then be free to do anything. And let's not be delusional. Where are even the jobs? You see people say, oh, once I get my indefinite leave to remain, once I get my British passport, then I can do any job. Which job? Where are the jobs? Like I said, millionaires are going away. That means the business are leaving. So these jobs that you are exchanging the best part of your lives, to hope to get in the future, where are they going to come from? Where are the jobs going to come from? And are you saying that you are going to work in a particular sector, say, for instance, a care job for 5 years, or 10 years potentially? Then you will now resign after you got your indefinite leave to remain and tell your employer that, oh, yes, I know that's where I worked that 10 years, but I'm actually a business admin. I'm actually in this. I don't have experience there, but no worry. When you put me, I will get the experience. When you are almost 50 years old, when you are in your late 40s. See, we must carefully count the cost. And I'm going back to the concept of what is happening in Africa because I know that for many people, abroad is like an escape. Like, finally, I've left this debt, I've left this lack, I've left this uncertainty. But you must structure your life in such a way that this passport, this indefinite leave to remain, is not the sole purpose of you coming abroad. Then you must begin to build your capacity. You must begin to build yourself economically. You must begin to build your connect such that even if you need to leave, maybe for another country or for your own country, you will then have more relevance, more capital, more connect to do something significant for yourself that you cannot do before you left your home country. If that is not the goal, you are going to be lost in this open prison because you are just going to be working for the system, trying to please the system, and looking at that end goal that has been placed before you. And the person in charge can shift it at any point in time. So if you are not careful to say, okay, I know that this is what you want to use me for, then but what can I do for myself? Simultaneously while I'm working towards that your goal. Which is why the concept of you investing in yourself is very important. You can't come to the UK and the only thing that is changing about you is your shirt and your hoodie and your car. Also, you must know where you are investing your money. You don't want to be in the UK as an immigrant, especially for blacks, and all of your investments are here. You need to remember to invest back in your home country. Because you see, for most people that come to the UK post-COVID, you would go back to your country. That is the reality that most people will get to understand in the next 3, 4, 5 years. For most Africans that left Africa for Europe post-COVID, in the next 3, 4, 5 years at most, you would begin to go back to your home country. Unfortunately for most, forcefully. Situation will compel you to go back home. So you must begin to plan yourself to say, you know what, if need be, I need to go back. Or if peradventure influenced or forced back, I must have something that would help me survive economically and survive well. I believe this should be your goal, what you should look for. But please, this also desperation, cry, panic, tension for indefinite leave to remain in the UK, especially, and the passport. It is wrong because, like a friend said, that fear is what the British politicians bank on when they make those uncomfortable policies, because they know that you are afraid of going back, because they know that you think that if you go back, your life will end. You see, the concept of freedom is that you have the capacity to dominate without anybody influencing your decision. You have the capacity to choose. Once the capacity to choose is removed from you, then you are no longer a free person. You are a slave. Which is why I asked the question. Let's say, for instance, the UK changed their law to say, you know what, before anybody can get indefinite leave to remain, you must do 15 years. Do you have a choice? Or you are just going to grumble, but then you still must do it because really, there's nothing that you can do. If you are in that shoe, then you are not a free person. And that is what you must begin to work on. To say, you know what, I don't want to be in a position whereby I cannot make the decision for my life. It is what they say that I must follow, even though I don't like it, because you think that slaves don't grumble before they go to work. They do, but they would have to go to work. So if you would have to just grumble and then do the years that has been placed in front of you just because you want to get this paper, that means you don't have a choice. So you must begin to work on that choice. Now, this is the first of these conversations because I hope to have more. And I want you to put your suggestions in the comment section. I know that we have ideas that people can move to other countries that are more friendly to immigrants, but I do believe that investing in yourself, developing your capacity is one sure way for you to be sure that whatever happens, you are fine. You also want to make sure that you diversify your investment. You don't just put your, all of your investment, in this country. It's like putting your egg in one basket and putting it on a donkey to run. Let the suggestions begin. Drop them in your comment section. And if you think that indefinitely leave to remain is what the whole life purpose, please explain why, as long as you are just nice, you're not abusing other people in the comment section. And please do like and share these videos, and please subscribe and press the notification button so that you can know when a new video drops on this channel. Thank you so much. Be nice discussing with you today. Bye.